preparation, motivation, commitment is what you need to fly high like these guys. Today we bring you some of the best in BMX and skateboarding framed within the beautiful and eccentric backdrop of Venice Beach, California. The Triples offer the best of dirt, box, park, and vert into a unique head-to-head battle of innovation and creativity. The Sony Big Air Triples is next.
What a run! Are you kidding me?
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to sunny Southern California here in Venice Beach, California, as we ready for the Sony Big Air Triples. Pat Parnell along with BMX industry insider Fat Tony. And we know this much, Venice Beach obviously known for skate and surf history, but today it's all about the Sony Big Air Triples. And we have some of the best in the business lined up.
That's right, Pat. We do have some of the best. These guys are seasoned veterans and up-and-comers over here.
Well, the iconic grizzled veteran Andy Macdonald, he knows a thing or two about Venice Beach.
This is world famous Venice Beach, and it's world famous because of essentially the people watching.
There's so many beautiful people out in scantily clad outfits. It's distracting, but it's awesome.
Just kind of a little grimy, but at the same time really classy, so it's definitely pretty awesome being out here.
Triples have been every epic place in the world, and so it's just logical you put it right on a beach in California. It's the next step, right? I'm waiting for the moon 2015 Triples.
This is the Sony Big Air Triples in Venice, California. The beach is that way.
Stick to the tail whips, Morgan. I'm not sure about the impersonation there of the Terminator. Triples series has 7 years of history with several former champs here, such as Zach Warden, Pat Casey, Ryan Guettler, and of course the overall champ from last year's series, Colton Satterfield. He sealed the deal in Times Square, New York. We keep hammering home just how stacked this field is. More importantly, let's hear from the riders themselves and see how they get prepared for such an event.
I think the level of riding has definitely taken a step up every single year.
It helps push people, you know, I know what Colton Satterfield is capable of, and I know that I need to be on top of my A game, and if not, then I know he's gonna pass, and it's almost do or die, you know.
The one that stands out the most is Pat Casey, because he's really strong in the jumping tricks and he's really strong on the quarter pipe. Another guy is Byron, so I think we'll see some really interesting stuff out of those guys.
When I think of Big Air Triples, I always think about Brett Van Sandwich. Mad Dog, he went down with a hard crash 3-4 weeks ago. I really miss him. I wish he was here. He always has something new and creative to do, and he's always consistent. He's a crowd favorite. We got best wishes for him and prayers in mind, and can't wait to see him come back to the next one.
So the format is fairly simple. It's a hybrid of park riding and dirt jumping. You have 2 box jumps and a quarter pipe. Riders get 2 runs and the winner moves on. The loser, however, gets a second chance to prove himself in the battle background.
Well, the beautiful part about the Triples contest is it's very simple and it's very easy to understand.
I think it's pretty amazing, this event. It's always been just 2 box jumps into a quarter pipe.
When it's head to head, it just simplifies it, you know? The person that went the biggest and the craziest wins the contest.
Our sport's pretty technical, so you might see a guy do a cash roll and then the next dude do a double flip. And of course, everyone's gonna think that the guy that just did the double backflip is gonna win, but in our sport, technically, the cash roll is actually a newer trick. Less people doing it, so really that should be the one that scores higher. I think you can come here and just have a chill day and be like, okay, I'm just gonna do my average hard tricks. You're gonna get shut down in the first round.
Well, 2 runs, best run counts, man-on-man heats. We're going to kick things off with Vince Byron and James Foster, but really excited about Anthony Napolitan and Zach Warden, but some great battles across the board.
Absolutely. Vince Byron is a known vert rider, so it's going to be super interesting to see what he throws down on the quarter pipe.
Me and James are good mates. We actually hang out a lot. We used to live in Greenville, right near each other, and ride almost every other day, so I know what kind of rider James is. He's real skilled.
Going up against Vince is always hard because he's got all the big box tricks and he has all the big quarter tricks. He's got everything, you know. He's really well-rounded, really good rider.
All right, let's get right into it. First run.
Vince Byron starting off strong. Huge double backflip tail, followed up by a Superman C-Grab 360. And a 540 tail whip on the quarter pipe. Wow, just slipping a pedal there. You can see it's not exactly how he wanted to land, but he still rode it way smooth.
Wow, so down.
Yeah, you can see he just dragged the foot right there. Judges will be looking at that. They are looking for consistency and how smooth he landed tricks. Now we'll see how James Foster replies to his run. Starting off with a backflip tail whip, followed up by a bar spin backflip tail whip, just over rotating right there and sliding out.
I meant to do a 360 trick on the second, and for some reason I blanked out before the second jump. Top of my head, I'm like, okay, flip, bar, whip, and I over-rotated, fell. It wasn't a bad fall, I was just, you know, my head was kind of somewhere else, I don't know why.
So who will take the fast track forward in the championship round? Vince Byron or James Foster? And the judges giving it to Vince Byron. James Foster relegated to the battle back round.
Making a little mistake like that, it gets frustrating.
I was kind of surprised because I know the kind of tricks he's got in his bag, but he didn't really lay them down against me that first time, and I was kind of like a little wondering. I was like, oh, that's not like James. Maybe he doesn't care, maybe he's not feeling it today. And then I guess I beat him through that, and I was like, okay, cool, well, I guess I'm moving on.
So a sigh of relief for Vince Byron, but James Foster, his hope's not completely dashed. He'll have a chance in the battle background here in Venice Beach, California, as we continue with more runs after this from the Sony Big Air Triples. The Sony Big Air Triples is brought to you by Sony and the new Action Cam, the only mountable camera with legendary Sony video quality. By Paul Mitchell Professional Salon Products. Paul Mitchell, what's your style? And by the following, the highly anticipated new psychological thriller starring Kevin Bacon, only on Fox this January. Welcome back, everyone. A picture-perfect day here in Venice Beach, California, as we continue with the Sony Big Air Triples. Still in the midst of the round of 16. Before we get to other runs, we take a look back at some of the highlights, and there's been some good moments so far, Fat.
Absolutely. Andy Buckworth versus TJ Ellis was a very exciting matchup. Both guys actually had a little bit of a slip-up on their first run. You can see TJ just slipping a pedal there. Then Andy Buckworth carving a huge wide flare, shooting off the side of the ramp and saying what's up to those fans over there. Again, carved very far in that quarter pipe, just over-rotated. You can see he landed with his front wheel a little bit ahead of his back. Then TJ answered back with a perfectly executed front flip tail whip. Very few people have that trick as dialed as TJ Ellis.
What a way to come back on the second run. We caught up with him earlier.
All right, TJ, you had a little bit of bobble on that first run. What did that mean going into your second run?
Yeah, man, my first run, I just like landed on my seat and got stuck in my tire and then broke my seat. So on second run, I'm just like, you know, don't put too much pressure on myself because it's a battle background, and that's what I did before at Orange County. But I'm like, let's do a front flip tail, and I landed it. So I saw that. That's what happened. I landed a front flip tail.
And the intensity continued with Ryan Guettler up against Daniel Sandoval.
Guettler throwing down a backflip Superman, followed up by an invert flare on that quarter pipe. Daniel Sandoval going for a triple tail whip, dipped 360, just washing out, couldn't get that last tail whip around and underneath him.
And Austin Coleman up against Colton Satterfield, the defending champ.
Colton always rides so consistent. Here lacing a 360 double tail whip. Austin Coleman answering back with one of his signature moves.
Austin, amazing riding out there. Walk me through that trick, signature style 360 one-handed downside tail whip. Walk me through that.
Oh man, it's all about the timing. You go off the lip and then you have to wait. Like you want to get real, you get excited and you want to get real anxious, but it's all about waiting. You wait for the timing, and when you're halfway around, you just jump off the bike and let the hand fly, and it sticks, and hopefully land on the pedals.
Two riders that normally time it perfectly. Zach Warden along with Anthony Napolitan.
You see these guys up there smiling. You love that camaraderie. Anthony Napolitan starting off with a double tail whip, followed up by an invert. His foot blowing off the pedal there. Zach Warding answering back with a 360 bike flip. Very few people do bike flip, and nobody does them in a 360 except Zach Warden.
So Zach Warden would get the nod as he moves forward in the championship round. And the final matchup, Morgan Wade and Pat Casey.
Pat Casey, a young guy who's been riding super consistent over the last few years. Big tail whip to no-hander right there. Morgan Wade, always a crowd favorite. Boom, kicking those feet out in that Superman 360 tail whip. Just washing out, but he's still got a smile on his face.
As a result of that, relegated to the battle background. If Morgan Wade does win there, he gets that lucky loser spot. But look at Vince Byron and TJ Ellis as they're ready for quarterfinal number 1.
TJ's a really strong dirt rider, And today he really impressed me a lot because for quarter pipe skills, he was doing really well, some high double tail whips and that sort of thing. And when he took out his first opponent with the run he did, I was really impressed.
TJ Ellis here, dropping on in. Big 360 double tail whip, landed that one smooth. Front flip tail whip, once again from TJ Ellis, dragging a foot, but still throwing that double tail whip on the quarter pipe. Nailing that one, landing very smooth. You can see he's definitely pumped on that run right there. Here's another look at that front flip tail whip. Searching for those pedals, and that back foot right there just dragging behind him, but still has enough time to set up and get that double tail whip.
I know his strengths and weaknesses a little bit for the fact that he's a dirt rider and he doesn't, so I know I can probably take him on the quarter pipe, but he's definitely got some strong box jump skills.
Vince Byron answering back right here to TJ Ellis's run. Big backflip double tail whip, we call that one a helicopter. 720 bar spin. And a 540 tail whip to end things off on the quarter pipe. Solid, solid run right there from Vince Byron, the Australian. Here's another look at that 720 bar spin. Spinning his bike 2 times around. Landed a little bit high right there, but still had plenty of speed for that quarter pipe.
And because of that, it looks like the judges, yep, they're going to give it to Vince Byron. He moves on to the semifinals. What a clutch run.
Vince, absolutely stellar run out there. One of the biggest tricks we've seen on the quarter pipe already today, 540 tail whip. What do you think your background invert has to play into that, those big quarter pipe tricks?
I mean, if I didn't have a background invert, I wouldn't be doing that trick, I'll tell you that right now. Pretty stoked to be pulling that. I got it done, I didn't crash, and I've pulled, what was it, like 2 out of 2, so can't really complain about that.
So far, so good. We'll see you in the next round.
Absolutely, look forward to it.
So the one-upmanship will continue as we ready for Ryan Guettler up against none other than Austin Coleman.
We're in Venice Beach, California. This is the Sony Big Air Triples. This is the place where everybody comes to see something they've never seen before, and we're gonna guarantee to show you something you haven't seen before.
Welcome back, everyone, to Venice Beach, California, site for the Sony Big Air Triples. And the Sony action cams, they have been put to great use today, capturing amazing footage of these guys. Austin Coleman, as he readies to do battle with Ryan Guettler.
The thing about Ryan Guettler is he's been really good for a really long time, and he has a ton of tricks in his arsenal. And you never know what he's going to do. Like, he's one of those kind of guys that if he's feeling it, will fire out, you know, a 1080 or a double flip or something you haven't even seen him do in a while. But, you know, if he's having a slightly off day, he might chill. But the thing with Ryan is you never know.
Ryan Guettler here with the eye of the tiger, getting set to drop in. What's he got on his first hit? Big backflip turn down right there, cranking that one. Followed up by a nice backflip tail whip, landed smooth right there. And a flare invert on that quarter pipe. Very solid run right there from Ryan Guettler, but will it be enough?
I feel like I'm staying on 2 wheels, being consistent, which was my goal in the first place, is try not to crash and just be injury-free. At the last event, I did ride with 2 broken ribs and a lacerated liver, so I actually really had to hold back. I couldn't do any spinning tricks except for flips. And then this one's I'm 100% injury-free, so this will be my event. I feel like I'm going to do a lot better in this event for sure.
Austin Coleman dropping on in, kicking things off with a no-handed backflip, followed up with a one-handed Superman C-grab, fully extending that arm, and ending things with a double downside tail whip on that big quarter pipe.
You have to think that would give him the edge over Guettler.
I haven't done that trick at a contest in a while. You know, it's been over a year. I was talking to the editor of BMX Plus magazine earlier in the day. He was at the contest covering it, and we were talking about coverage that I got in the magazine, and I was like, yeah, the last cover I had was doing this trick, the Superman C-grab one-hander. And I was like, man, I got a cover of a magazine doing this trick. It's an awesome trick, and I haven't done it in a really long time. Let's see how it goes, and it worked out really good.
So making an old trick new, not being repetitive, and showing that originality, and that is what sticks with the judges as Austin Coleman moves on. Unfortunate, however, for Ryan Guettler.
Standing here with Ryan Guettler, 2 solid runs there, but just wasn't enough. What's it going to take in this battle background for you?
Oh man, I guess everything. Like that run there was meant to be the double flip, and I landed. I think I overshot the first, so I was kind of hesitant. So this one's going to be it for sure.
Well, good luck in the battle back.
Hell yeah, thank you so much.
Our next quarterfinal matchup, Pat Casey up against Zach Warden.
I never really compare myself to the riders. I just know when you only have 3 things to do, how do your 3 hardest things in a sense, you know, but you can't always do that. You got to have a setup trick sometimes, you know, and then you fumble pedals, and there's a lot that goes into it for only being 3 jumps, and I just, with the head-to-head, it just can bring it out, you know.
Zach Warden kicking off the party. 360 bar spin to late tail whip, followed up by a backflip, bike flip. Wow, pulling that one perfect, and ending things with a triple tail whip. Wow, Zach Warden on fire today.
How did he muscle that around?
Let's go ahead and take another look at this backflip, bike flip. Such a difficult trick. Zach, the only one in the world doing that. And then straight into the triple tail up on the quarter pipe. Lots of height on that one as well.
Luckily, I managed to pull the flip, bike flip, and a triple whip on that one. And you know, the crowd always gets behind you anytime people are sending stuff, and that's all what we like to do.
Pat Casey ready to do business here on the triples course. First jump, what do we have? Backflip, bar spin, landing that one smooth. Looking for, it looks like a cross between a backflip and a 360 decade. Just sliding out, he'll have to wave off that run. Taking another look here at that backflip bar spin. A little bit off axis there, but still lands very smooth. And then this, a trick that Pat Casey invented. I believe he's the only one in the world to try that one, and it just didn't quite work out for him today.
Well, an amazing trick when he pulls it, but you heard Zach Warden earlier. He said he's not going to focus on Pat Casey's tricks. He's going to focus on his tricks, and it pays off with the judges as he moves on to the semifinal round, where he will face the winner of the battle back round, the lucky loser.
Zach, you're coming off of some really big wins and podium finishes. What does that do for your confidence out here?
You know, it definitely spikes it. I was in Interbike in Vegas for a little bit. I haven't really been riding that much. It's really definitely awesome to be out here with such a high level of riders, and they're pushing me so hard. I haven't done a lot of these things in a long time, and I'm just kind of rolling the dice. I've been coming out lucky, but who sees what the next couple runs are like.
Well, you definitely hit the jackpot with that rolling the dice. Probably the biggest run we've seen. We'll see you in the next round, man. Good job.
All right, thanks, Matt.
Our 3 semifinalists are set, including Austin Coleman, Vince Byron, and Zach Warden. One coveted spot left, the winner of the battle background after this.
This is Sony Big Air Triples here in Venice Beach. Perfect mix of grime and class.
Welcome back, everyone, to Venice Beach, California, here for the Sony Big Air Triples as we get ready for the battle background. One of the cooler aspects of this format, this allows the riders to take that many more chances on their runs. And you see defending champ Colton Satterfield on the list of competitors, just one of many riders that Vince Byron will be watching.
Vince, you absolutely killed it out there. You're moving on to the next round. There's a handful of guys that have to battle back and try a second time. Who are you looking out for out there?
I'm probably going to be looking out for like people like TJ Ellis, Colton Satterfield, and definitely Andy Buckworth.
Talking about the fellow countryman out here, Andy Buckworth, you mentioned, he's got that double flip on lock. Nobody else is really doing that. What do you think about that out here?
I think that's crazy. I am not going to be trying that. You're not going to see me doing that this weekend. On that first jump, that's pretty amazing that he's doing it straight off the bat, off the roll in, start of his run, and then, you know, he's got 2 more obstacles to hit, which he could light it on fire.
And James Foster has to go up against that double backflip right now.
Battle background, it's always a lot of work because you ride a lot and it's quick because it's only 1 run. It's also mentally very difficult because you have to pull an amazing run and you only get 1 shot.
James Foster coming into that second jump. Whoa, signature trick right there. He calls that one a bar fight. It's actually 4 tricks in 1. Let's have another look here at this one. It is a 360 opposite bar spin to regular bar spin back to late downside tail whip.
Going up against Andy, like he has some of the biggest tricks in BMX, he really does. And I knew I'd have to do the most technically difficult run I could possibly do to beat him.
Will Buckworth go for this double flip again? And he does, landing it smooth right there, straight into a front flip Superman and a downside tail whip on the quarter pipe, landing that so smooth.
He double flipped the first set. You know, no one's ever done that at one of these events before. It's a huge risk and it's a very hard trick. You know, obviously that was better than my first run jump, or my first jump, but I think the judges gave me the edge because of what I did on the next 2 jumps.
Well, the double backflip, definitely visually stunning, but when you consider just how many tricks were rolled into Foster's run, and that's what the judges are really looking at, is the originality and the technical aspect. Question is, will he be able to maintain it, Fat?
If he keeps riding like this, he has a very good chance.
Taking a look now at highlights of the battle background.
Colton Satterfield edging out Daniel Sandoval right there with a 360 triple tail whip. Morgan Wade known for his go big or go home style, and unfortunately today it just didn't pan out for him. Right here, Morgan over-rotating on a tail whip. That crash right there was enough to give Anthony Napolitan the edge over Morgan.
We ready for our next matchup? Pat Casey up against James Foster. Can he continue the momentum?
The Pat is just an unbelievable rider. And again, same thing as going up against Buckworth. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do my hardest run. If I pull it, great. If not, you know, oh well.
James Foster looking for that bar fight once again, slipping a pedal, but still having time to lace that double downside tail up on the quarter pipe. That's definitely gonna be a tough run for Pat Casey to follow. Does he have what it takes? Watching him drop in now. Starting off with a backflip bar spin to no-hander, then a 360 triple tail whip, landing that one clean, and a tail whip to no-hander on that quarter pipe.
Wow, what a contentious fight. One of the best we've seen so far, and who is it gonna be? Wow, judges giving it to James Foster. You agree with that, Pat?
It's hard to say. I really would not want to be a judge in this situation. Both riders had amazing runs. James dragging a foot a little bit. So I'm not going to be the one to call this one. I'll just let the judges have it and let it be that.
Well played. As we take a quick look at highlights of the battle background, TJ Ellis had some problems on the first hit.
Yeah, just washing out right there on that backflip Superman. He's having a good time, though. Everybody out here in Venice loves to work out. You got Muscle Beach right behind him. He's getting in his military push-ups right there. And now you see fellow pro rider Big Daddy out here loving what TJ's throwing down.
So Ellis out, but defending champ Satterfield moves on and looking at Napolitan's run.
Nice triple tail whip right there. Straight into a Superman C-grab on the quarter pipe. And look at that face of Napolitan.
Well, Napolitan, his hopes are still alive as he makes it to the final three in the battle back round. Remember, only one transfer spot remains back into the championship round. So up to this point, it's been man on man, but now we have three finalists. They will all go up against each other and try to get that lucky loser spot, and James Foster drops in.
Starting things off again with that backflip tail whip. Will he go for the bar fight again? And he does, landing it straight to the pedals. And there's that double downside tail whip again.
Wow.
That's the run he's been pulling all day, and he's loving it. Watch these handlebars. Around once, back the other direction, then kicking that late downside tail whip.
Next up, defending champ Colton Satterfield.
The one thing I say about the triples every single time is no matter how head game you want to get into it and think strategy, you just have to go for it every time.
And Colton goes for it big. No-handed 360 backflip, an insane move on that first jump, right into a 360 triple tail whip, and a no-handed flare on that quarter pipe. An insane run right there from Colton. The judges have their work cut out for him today. Once again, 3 times kicking that frame around, landing smooth with plenty of speed for that quarter pipe. Getting some props for his buddy James Foster over there, Mad Gear teammate.
Anthony Napolitan drops in on his run.
What's he got on this first jump? A big front flip tuck no-hander. Looking at that second hit, helicopter backflip double tail whip, just dragging those feet, but still kicks and lands that double tail whip on the quarter pipe. Wow, Anthony on fire right now. Again with this backflip double tail whip, a great trick, but he does have a little bobble, and in this level of competition, that's gonna cost you.
Well, it is unanimous with the judges. James Foster keeps that momentum all the way through to the lucky loser spot. Defending champ is out.
Winning the battle back is definitely like, you feel like you won because you're back in the contest, you know? It's like, it's definitely a great feeling, and it gives you that much more confidence to where you can, you know, you're like, okay, well, back in the battle background, if I make it past this, I'm in the final round, you know? That's like, it gives you that, you know, you really want to push forward and try and make it in the final.
So a stacked semifinal is set. Foster up against Warden, Byron up against Coleman. Earlier today, before the event kicked off, the riders were put to the test not just on their riding ability, but their creativity, trying to tap into their inner Spielberg. And the following is the filming fruits of their labor.
Check out this perspective from the Sony action cam.
Sony was nice enough to give us all these awesome cameras. Everyone's in this contest.
I feel like you can put them basically anywhere you have a desire to.
Judges will take a look at the footage, and I guess whoever has the best wins it.
Zach Warden, run one.
Extra point for the glasses.
360X up. I have no idea what that was.
3 bike flip, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, triple whip. Nailed it and then just washed out of the end. Good.
It's about being creative, so I think if they allow me to do it, I'll have somebody behind me trying to be as close as they can, and then it's kind of up to them, I guess, to get the good footage, and I'll just ride how I normally do.
So he's got Buckworth here, following right after him. Just missed it. Just missed it. That's rough.
And I was like, I'll just do a backy, and then for everyone at home, you should do a backy just to feel what it's like.
Once you put a contest into it, it's like, I'm gonna film stuff better than you with this camera, you know? It's like, I don't know, I guess I have like a competitive personality, and the second, I don't know, it sounds really fun to me, and it's really a new take on things, and it makes you like, look, all right, well, I gotta do hard tricks, which is what you think of as a BMX rider, but like, how can I make it look good from this point of view as well?
This is Morgan following him, right? See half the trick there. Get your head up, Morgan. Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay, difficulty, he's up there for sure.
Running up right after my run for Morgan's run, it's kind of tiring, but I didn't have to do tricks the next go around. I just gotta feel like I was gonna smash into Morgan every time we got there.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah!
Yes, that's the shot. Yes, there we go. Ending with a course overview too. If he would have stood there and like looked at the course for another second, that would have been beautiful, but right there, that's the winner. Yeah, Morgan Wade right there, that last run. It just so happened to be the last one we watched, and he threw it down. Colton filmed it perfect, and he's the one.
So a rider known for his all-or-nothing style strikes lightning in a bottle. Morgan Wade taking top honors with the Sony Action Cam. And up next, the skateboarders take to the course here in Venice Beach, California, as the Sony Big Air Triples continue right after this. We are back, Venice Beach, California, for the Sony Big Air Triples as the skateboarders take to the course, and the grizzled veteran Andy Macdonald, he knows a thing or two about how to deal with a course like this.
Just the rhythm section, like doing one jump, you have to get a good landing on the first one in order to hit the second one and clear it without casing, without falling into the gap in between. But when you do it right and you land it smooth, it's the best feeling. It's just this rhythm that you don't get in any other style of skating.
So a little varial there over that last hit, right into the McTwist on the quarter pipe. And Andy Macdonald, one of the early pioneers of big air skateboarding. As we go right back to the top, 12 years old. Trey Wood drops in. And a nice three over that first set. Back flips it into a big McTwist.
The setup was awesome. I actually liked it a lot better just because you can do multiple tricks in the same run. So it's just cool to get to skate this ramp with that setup.
And a nice little method on that first set into the three for Jett Eaton, 14 years old, and ends on the invert on the quarter pipe. Next skater up, Tom Shar. He made history being the first skater ever to pull a 1080. Pulled it at Camp Woodward West, starts with a three. You can see him setting up, coming in fakie 7, Tom Shar.
I don't know, it's kind of weird because I'm not really used to doing two jumps back to back because usually it's just one jump and then the quarter pipe. But it's really unique because you get to do one jump and then you do one trick on the first jump and then another one on the second jump. And I don't know, it's really cool because you can test out different like tricks and different ways to do them.
Adam Taylor dropping on in for this jam session. Going for his version of a crazy stretched out Christ air backflip right there. Can't quite roll away from it though.
I spent the majority of my practice time trying a 540 on the quarter pipe and a backflip over the first jump. Sometimes you just keep bailing, you know, it's terrible. But most times when the contest actually is started and they say your name and it's like, it's go time, there's no falling.
But as always, Andy Mack consistent.
All right, Andy, we just saw you land that backflip. I don't think we saw you do that in practice. What's the difference here?
I got it once in practice, but it probably took me 30 tries. Made it first try in the contest because that's when you have to. No bailing in the contest. So psyched I got that one and made the 540 at the end. That was the run I was looking for.
So from 39-year-old Andy Mack, we go into the youngest competitor, 11 years old. Look at that, Jagger Eaton.
Jagger, tell us what you think about this jam format. How's it working out for you?
I love it. This ramp is amazing. I've done it before, and last time I did it was a success. I won a couple times, and just this ramp and all this crowd is amazing here.
So from an 11-year-old to a 12-year-old, yes, the 12-year-old, Trey Wood, is doing backflips into McTwist on the quarter. Man, that is incredible.
All right, Trey, excellent run out there. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I'm actually doing better than I expected to do, so I'm stoked right now.
And dropping in now, Tom Shar in this jam session format. Right behind him in the purple shirt, Jett Eaton. And it's kind of cool with the jam session format is the crowd decides who gets to win. A little different on the skating side of things.
That's right, Pat. It's always great to get the crowd involved with these athletes.
And right back to the top, Adam Taylor. Let's see if he can pull. He's been focused on that second hit right here. Gets a little judo kick on that, a little different from his previous attempt, but good news for Adam Taylor.
Skateboarders don't get to ride the triples that often. What's it like for you guys jamming on this stuff?
The kickers are fun. And the steepness of the kickers, because our kickers are all really flat, so you can really get some, you can really get hang time on it, go really high, and it makes backflips really easy.
So 12-year-old Trey Wood drops in again. Nice 3 on that first kicker. And look at that little finger flip on the board, clean. Finishes with tweak style on the quarter pipe.
The crowd is a lot of help just because of pressure. And pressure makes you do a lot of things that you usually can't. And then Venice, I know you have to try your hardest because you're at Venice.
Who thinks the winner is Trey Wood? Well, you guys did a great job. Thank you, one and all. Our official awards coming up.
And with that, the crowd has decided Trey Wood, and you can see him feeling the impact of this high-energy crowd.
All right, Trey, obviously an emotional day out here for you. What's it like to come out here and win this jam session?
Truly, I didn't expect it, so it's amazing.
What do you think your best trick was out here on the day?
I don't even know. Like backflip or my last run, the finger flip sack tap.
You got all these fans behind you waiting on you. We'll let you get out of here, man. Good job.
Thank you.
Amazing. 12 years old, Trey Wood taking top honors. And just when you think it couldn't get any better, we get to hop on board with the Sony Action Cam contest. Much like the BMXers, the skateboarders would strap on the Sony Action Cam and take us for a ride, offering a great perspective of this course.
Yeah, that's the great thing about these Sony Action Cams. You can really put them anywhere and just get super creative with the shots.
And it's cool for us fans. We get the point of view as we jump on board with Jett Eaton, almost sticking the 3. And Adam Taylor was playing with the backflip earlier and pulls out the shot of the day. And the crowd is loving the footage as well as the skating. And sticking the backflip, Adam Taylor able to take top honors with the Sony Action Cam contest. When we come back, Vince Byron, Austin Coleman, James Foster, along with Zach Warden, head back to the course as the Sony Big Air Triples continue. Welcome back, everyone, to the Sony Big Air Triples here in Venice Beach, California. And you would not believe the tricks it has taken for these guys to make it to the semifinals.
That's right. Each and every one of these guys has thrown down an insane couple of runs, battling out their opponents one after another to get to this point of the competition. We've seen Vince Byron throw 540 tail whips on the quarter pipe. We've seen Austin Coleman throw Superman seat grab one-handers. And then there's James Foster and Austin Coleman, who have done insane technical combos that only they can do. And of course, James Foster coming back from that battle back round as the lucky loser, making it into the semifinals.
And right now we take a look at our super stacked semifinal bracket. Byron against Coleman, Foster against Warden. And there's Vince Byron as he readies for the first of 2 runs where best run counts here in the semifinals.
Vince has rode very consistent all day. Can he keep it together here in the semifinals? Starting off with that backflip double tail whip again, landing it smooth, going for a 360 Superman seat grab over that box. And there's that 540 tail whip on the quarter pipe again. Another super solid run from Vince Byron, the Australian.
A great way to start. Get one safety, if you can call it that, on his first of 2 runs. And Austin Coleman, he has to be thinking, how can I answer to that?
It's going to be tough for sure. He starts off with a front flip no-hander over the first set, looking for a truck driver to X up on that second set, and then a single downside tail up on the quarter pipe. If I know Austin like I think I do, he probably wanted a little bit more right there.
I got a solid run in, my first run. Wasn't quite what I was looking for, but I didn't fall. And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna bring it. Second run,
Right back to the top, Vince Byron on his second run here in the semifinals. Best run counts.
He had a full pull in his first run. Is he going to roll the dice here on a second? Oh! Goes down, hits his face on the edge of that ramp there. He looks all right, but that had to hurt.
Then I just come in on a bit of a bad angle, and I think my front wheel either washed out or missed completely, and I basically just come down and hit right above my eye here. As you can see, I've got a little bit of butterfly clips here because I cut my eyelid open pretty good.
I saw him crash, but I also saw him get up, which is great. You know, anytime you see somebody crash, you want to make sure they're at least okay. And he got up and put his hand up. And you know, if you don't know that going into it, it's, you know, we're all friends. You know, nobody wants to see anybody else get hurt.
So an unfortunate circumstance for Vince Byron, but now forced to sit on the strength of his first of 2 run scores where best run counts. Austin Coleman will have the final say in this semifinal exchange.
The pressure's on for him, and just tagging on that landing right there, he will not be able to complete his run, and that's going to do it for Austin Coleman.
I just came up a little bit short, but I was gonna turn it on right there. It was either all or nothing, so it ended up being nothing that time around. But I knew I had to bring it, because there's no beating Vince unless you bring your A game. BMXers are some of the toughest guys in the world. You know, Vince had just had a really crazy crash right before. There's blood everywhere. He was in the medics. He couldn't even, you know, go back up and for the decision. Everybody thought he was out, and he was like, "Oh, I advanced." He's like, "Get off me, get off me. I'm gonna go back up to the top."
You heard it right there. It is official. After taking a heavy slam, Vince Byron moves right into the final.
All right, Vince, after a solid first run, you had a little crash there in your second run. How are you feeling after that, and what are you going to do in the finals?
I mean, I'm feeling all right, probably not as good as I was before. I got a little bit of a cut on my eye, a few stitches that I think I'm going to need later, but right now I'm pretty focused on the final. Going to lay down and see what else I can pull out, you know?
Awesome. Well, good luck, and take care of that eye, buddy.
Thanks very much, guys.
Wow, amazing resilience from Vince Byron, just completely unrattled by that heavy, heavy slam. As he moves into the final, the question is, who will he meet? It will be one of these 2 riders, Zach Warden and James Foster.
Battle back life, dude. Hardest job out here.
I was tired from all the riding I just did. I was stoked because I'm back in the contest. And, you know, I'm thinking to myself, all right, Zach has won these events before. He's got tricks that nobody else in the world have ever done. He does them here. And I'm like, you know, I know he's gonna do them, so it's do your hardest possible run that you can and hope for the best.
All right, hoping for the best. James Foster, run number 1.
Starting off again with that backflip tail whip. Looking for that bar fight one more time. Hit the eject button though, and throwing his bike over there into the crowd. Here's another look at that backflip tail whip. He lands this one clean. What goes wrong on the bar fight trick here? He throws the bars once back the other direction and just can't quite kick that downside tail whip around. But he will have another chance to get this dream run of his.
Yeah, anytime you're going up against the dude from Battle Back, it's almost hit or miss because they've just done 4 or 5 brackets with 1 run. So they're on it. Like if they've made it through, they've been pulling their stuff. And anytime you go up against them, they know that, hey, this dude's got 5 runs since I've took one. You know, I've been sitting out for 15 minutes. And James is another one that he always brings out the best to me.
It's almost unnerving how relaxed Zach Warden looks before these runs.
First jump, 360 bar spin to late tail whip. What's he got on the second? Going for the bike flip, backflip again, and just can't quite bring it around.
Well, good news for both riders. They will have their second run.
Let's check out where Zach messed up here. Sends the bike flip, catches a seat, and just doesn't have quite the distance he needs to make it across that jump.
And right back to the top, the rider who battled his way through the battle back round, James Foster.
The pressure is on him right now. There's that flip whip, pulls that one good. Can he get the bar fight? No, he goes for a different option right there, playing it maybe a little bit more safe, and then ending things with that downside double tail whip again. So let's see where James switched up his run right here. Goes for the 360 bar spin to late down whip, and then throws in an X up at the end. Switching it up slightly, but still lots of technical difficulties within that trick.
So now all the pressure will sit on Zach Warden. The last run for him in our second semifinal. Remember, best run counts.
Pressure is on for Zach Warden. There's that 360 bar spin to late tail whip. Can he get the bike flip, backflip? No, he hits the eject button, which means James Foster will be the one to move on from this round.
That's the brilliant part about these contests, you know, like you can pull one run, but you got to do it 4 or 5 different times, or you have to switch your run up and know exactly what you're getting into, and it's just, it's a lot, but it's fun, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a cardio activity, it's just a focus, like huff yourself, and James is another one that he always brings out the best in me, and today I ended up sliding out a bit, but James ended up taking the win, which is well-deserved.
So James Foster into the finals, where he will do battle with Vince Byron. We're about to crown a champion here at the Sony Big Air Triples right after this. The Sony Big Air Triples has been brought to you by Sony and the new Action Cam, the only mountable camera with legendary Sony video quality. By the Custom Hotel, Los Angeles Airport. Arrive beautifully. And by ASA Entertainment, the leader in action sports event and TV production since 1994. Visit us at asaentertainment.com. Welcome back, everyone, to the Sony Big Air Triples here in Venice Beach, California, and we've whittled it down to 2 riders, Vince Byron and James Foster. Interestingly enough, they met earlier in the championship round, so a rematch here for the final bragging rights.
Driving that.
The final, to me, I wouldn't say that I was really affecting me. I know I was against Foster, and I know what he was doing, and I was like, all right, it's the final. It's time to lay some heavy stuff down.
I think we all expect heavy stuff from Vince Byron, dropping in on his first of 2 final runs.
There's that backflip double tail whip, landed a little bit sketchy. Whoa! Losing it right there. Looked like he might have been going for a 720 bar spin and just couldn't hang on.
The first run, you know, I did the flip double whip again, and I was going to go for another 720 bar spin, which I had done in one of my previous other runs. And unfortunately, like when I took off and I went to throw the bars, I obviously just took off wrong. Sometimes it's a weird angle, and I didn't quite let go of the bars where I needed to, and so basically that threw me right off as far as timing, balance, everything, and so I had to eject on that trick, and that was my first run done.
So now it's down to James Foster on his first of 2.
Will he nail the run he's been working on all day? There's the flip whip, lands it clean, and the bar fight. Yes, there it is, straight to the pedals. And the double downside tail. Yeah, clean run right there for James Foster. Visibly psyched on that run, as he should be.
And now putting the pressure squarely on Vince Byron.
I pulled my first run against Vince, and I pulled it perfect. So I have the option of trying something even harder, you know. Unfortunately for Vince, he messed up his first run. It happened to me earlier in the contest, and luckily that's why we get 2 runs.
So it's come down to this. Vince Byron knows what he has to lay down. A question, Fat, I mean, what can he pull out to battle the run that we just saw from Foster?
Well, we've seen Vince throw down big before, and we know he is capable of the moves, but can he put it together? Is that crash from earlier affecting his momentum? There's a backflip double tail up, looking for a 720, and just doesn't get the rotation. That means James Foster doesn't even have to take his second run. Vince has 2 crashes, and James already has a full pull under his belt.
What an incredible road for the win it has been for Foster. I mean, true redemption. He faced Byron in the first matchup of the day, was knocked out, forced to the battle back round, fought his way through that, and gets a well-deserved win here in Venice Beach as we check in with Fat Tony, who's with the champ.
All right, James Foster here, the winner. You came back to beat Vince Byron after he knocked you out in the first round. How's that feel?
Feels amazing, man. I'm so beat. I've done so much riding today, but I ended up getting a run that I was real happy with, and it worked out, and I took the win, and I'm psyched, man. I couldn't be happier. Everybody out here kills it. Like, seriously, every one of these riders could have won with their run. It's that gnarly. The riding is so good here.
The riding was amazing, and consider this, he had to go through 6 matchups to hold the trophy. Well done for James Foster.
Congrats to James, man. He really deserves it, coming all the way back through the battle background. Like, he just proved that he basically rode against everyone out there today, you know what I mean, and pulled it off. So props to him for sure.
Having won from coming through the battle background is definitely an amazing feeling. Like, I was exhausted, and I'm like, all right, hold it together. Just, please land this run. Like, just trying my hardest to get it done, and stars aligned, and it worked out for me today. So I'm ecstatic for sure.
I'm pumped to tie 3rd with Austin Coleman, and I'm just, anytime there's a contest, especially in an awesome environment with good people, I'm happy to be here. And I was just so pumped for Foster, because I've seen him come in these contests, and break himself off and have some of the best runs ever, but not make it to the top. And for him to finally make it to the top, it definitely is nice and well-deserved and makes you feel good for your homies.
The box jump triples are always a bit of a fun contest just for the layout that they are and the head-to-head. You know, sometimes you're against your best mate, sometimes you're just against another rider. So it always brings its own characteristics, which is a lot of fun to me. I really love these contests.
A very special thanks to the amazing partners that supported the event, including the City of Los Angeles Department of Recreation and Parks, the Hotel Irwin, the Custom Hotel LAX, Pello Events, and our friends at Sony. On behalf of Fat Tony, I'm Pat Parnell signing off from Venice Beach. You've been watching the Sony Big Air Triples.